All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving into this incredibly weird, really fascinating text called The Registry of Undelivered Light. And trust me, this is a story that plays right on the edge of what we think is real. It's all about memory, absence, and, well, the simple act of looking.
So, right from the get go, the source material hits you with this super mysterious dedication. And it just perfectly sets the stage, right? It's telling us we're about to enter a world for things that kind of miss their chance, or for places that are still around long after they should be gone. It's like a world that's running parallel to ours, just slightly out of sight.
So, where does our story kick off? Well, it starts with our narrator getting this really strange job offer. I mean, really strange. It comes from this shadowy organization that just calls itself the Bureau, and their office is in a building that's described almost like a typo in the middle of the city. And right away, the Bureau just throws out the rulebook. They take a word we all know, surveyor, and completely change its meaning. The narrator's like, hey, I'm not a surveyor, but they don't care about measuring land or boundaries. No, they're after something completely different. And that's your first big clue that we are not in Kansas anymore.
So, you're probably asking, what is this bureau? And yeah, it's not your typical office, that's for sure. It's better to think of it as an archive of things that are missing, an archive of absences, of memories. You know, that feeling a room gets right after someone leaves? That's what they collect. They're basically a library for things that are gone.
And this right here, this is the key to understanding how they operate. They don't want data. They don't want measurements. They think all that objective stuff just misses the point entirely. What they're looking for is pure, unfiltered, subjective observation. Because for them, that's the real record. That's where the truth of a place lives. Okay, so now we get to the narrator's first assignment, and this is where we see their whole philosophy in action. He gets sent to find a house. Sounds simple, right? Except it's in this weird part of the city where things seem to shift around, and the house, well, it might not even be there. Oh, and one more thing, one really strange rule. He's not allowed to write anything down. At all. Getting there is a trip in and of itself. I mean, the map they give him is totally useless. Time feels like it's bending. The streets literally seem to be moving around. You get the sense the whole journey is designed to break him down, to make him ditch any normal tool he'd use, and just force him to rely on what he sees and feels. So, after all that, he finally finds the spot. It's just a gap between two buildings. And sure enough, the house isn't there. It's gone. But here's the twist. The space isn't just empty. Empty would be easy. Now, this is something else entirely, something way more complicated. And you can almost feel it. It has a presence. And this is just a perfect illustration of what the Bureau is all about. He realizes that the absence of the house has its own shape. It's not just nothing. It's a something that isn't there. Think of it like a scar on the land. It changes everything around it. The way the light hits, how the weeds grow. The goneness of the house is a real, tangible thing you can observe. So he goes back to the Bureau, he tells them what he saw, and that's when it all clicks. The big reveal. He finally understands what the job really is. They don't want him to write down the record, his memory, what he experienced. He is the record. He's a living archive of that missing house. All right, so if you thought that was weird, hold on. The second assignment goes even deeper. This time, he's not looking for a missing house. He's taken to a secret place where they archive things you wouldn't think you could archive. He goes down into this hidden basement, and what he finds is just incredible. The Bureau has a catalog of these tiny, unnoticeable events. And I don't mean they wrote them down. No, they've somehow captured the actual physical vibrations of these moments. The tremor from a door closing in 1937, a picture falling, even the last breath of a dog. All these tiny tremors of life just stored away in little boxes. And this brings up a really big philosophical question, right? Is a tremor still a tremor if it's trapped in a box in a basement? If you take something out of the world to preserve it perfectly, do you kind of kill it in the process? It's like the difference between a memory you carry with you, one that changes and grows, and a photo. The photo is perfect, frozen, but it's not alive. Okay, now for assignment number 3. And this is where the stakes get raised. A lot. He's not being sent to look at a place or an object or some tiny tremor. This time, his assignment is a person, specifically the guy who had his job before him. So we find out about this guy, Pál Érsek. He'd been a surveyor for more than 10 years. But then, on his 16th job, surveying a ghost staircase, one that wasn't there anymore, something changed in him. And then, his final assignment, well, whatever he saw, it seems to have just shattered him. He's left completely catatonic.
Pal's wife tries to explain it, and it's just this haunting, impossible idea. She says his body is there, right? He's in the apartment, he eats, he breathes, but he isn't there. His mind, his soul, whatever makes him Pal, it's gone. It's off somewhere else. It's like his body is an empty house.
So this is the big mystery, isn't it? What happened to Pal? What in the world could he have seen that would do that to a person? And the answer, well, it tells us what the real danger of this job is. And the truth is absolutely mind-bending. It turns out the Bureau isn't a place. It's not an organization with a building and a boss. The Bureau is the act of looking. It is the act of pure, focused observation, the practice of paying attention to things nobody else notices.
Pal's last assignment was to survey the survey itself. He was told to look at the act of looking. And what happens when you do that? Well, he looked at the Bureau, and the Bureau looked back.
It created this kind of metaphysical feedback loop. The looker and the looking just merged into one. Paul's mind was basically swallowed up by the very thing he was observing. He didn't just see the Bureau, he became part of it. He became the gaze itself. And that leaves us with one final, chilling image from Paul's old notebook. It's a hand-drawn circle, but it's not quite closed. There's a tiny gap. And written in that little gap is one word, here. So what does that mean? Is that where Paul is? Is it a warning that a surveyor gets trapped in that single moment of looking? Or maybe it's saying that reality itself is only found in that tiny space between what we see and who we are. It's a map, a warning, and a profound question, all rolled into one.